Excerpt from the Massetti Prime Gazette. Translated to human units based on your location. Dear readers, often I have mentioned how enthusiastic humans are to colonize places that no one should have any right living on. Today, to help you understand why I'm so impressed and terrified by this, I'm going to offer you a small window into these worlds. Those with weak constitutions may want to stop reading now and turn to a more light-hearted section, like the obituaries. To begin, humans don't even need planets to colonize at all. They live in space around stars, containing nothing larger than asteroids, simply because it would make a great trading hub or shipyard. Many of these lone stations are simply enormous, stretching hundreds of kilometers in every direction, with thousands of ships coming and going and trading and docking, and none of the millions of inhabitants on these construction marvels worried at all about a rogue trading barge careening through their home at an appreciable fraction of C. To quote Michael Farnsworth, a dockworker on Pillar of Hope, one of the largest lone stations in human space. Yeah, we just don't think about it, you know. There's plenty of systems to keep that from happening, and shit hit this station less than any planet, so, I don't know, I feel pretty safe, yeah. Moving on from the empty void to the places that we in the greater galactic core would take one look at and run away from as fast as possible. Humanity has a fine collection of the standard inhospitable planets. Too hot, too cold, too dry, too wet, too high gravity, high tectonic activity, rains acid, or glass, or diamonds. As far as human worlds go, these are fairly common. But then there are planets so inhospitable that even most humans won't call them home. Like these lovely worlds I had the masochistic pleasure to visit. Versto. The Nightmare Rainforest. When the human-given moniker for a planet includes the word nightmare, you just know that it's a difficult place to live. But in many ways, Versto is quite nice by human standards. 1.1 Earth G, temperate year-round, and lots of oxygen. However, it is these very conditions that create one of the most competitive rainforests in the galaxy. The ocean that dominates most of the planet's surface is pounded by year-long storms that rarely let waves get smaller than 9 meters. But the planet's single continent is worse, far worse. Plants that explode into poisonous shrapnel when touched, fungi that dissolves flesh, and armored worms the size of city buses are just a few of the lovely and aggressive flora and fauna that Versto has to offer. And how a rainforest manages to have a season known as wildfire season is baffling to me. But it's not all darkness with no light. Maggie Shin, a botanist on Versto, explained to me that, although the plants here are very aggressive, nothing on Versto comes close to the pain caused by the Jimpy back on Earth. So at least Versto has that going for it. Maggie also told me she likes to take her morning runs barefoot through fields of razor grass to train for the annual cross-country ultramarathon. So if that sounds like fun to you, Versto would love to have you. There's currently an opening on their beach volleyball team for 2 young go-getters, not afraid of taking a dive onto glass shard beaches. Navak. An irradiated wasteland. No one will admit to me how Navak became so irradiated. But there are breathtaking vistas of ruined cities on the world's tourism page, so presumably a lot of someone's used to live there. Now the ash desert world is populated by a convoy of road trains that crawl around the world, collecting radioactive material for sale to other worlds. While the atmosphere would be fatally radioactive to almost any other species exposed to it, humans can't survive with only a layer of heavy clothing and a full face mask. Sure, it's a little dangerous, Kim Ventura explained, in between shifts testing the radioactivity of the nearby ash dunes. But so is living anywhere. And sure, we're maybe like 1100 times more likely to get cancer in our lifetimes, but medicine is so good nowadays, you hardly even notice the tumors at all. I've had ocular cancer 3 times now, but I got these badass cybernetic eyes out of it, so really, I think I got a pretty good deal. Moloch. The Lava Sea. Sometimes humans are too impatient to wait a few billion years for the surface of a planet to cool down enough to not be liquid anymore. And when that happens, you get Moloch, the only city on Moloch, the lava world. Completely molten all the way around, Moloch has everything and more, provided all you're looking for is lava. Some enterprising humans built an enormous hull out of a single piece of ceramic and floated it on the lava sea. Now they cruise around the planet fishing out rare and heavy metals that haven't quite settled down into the planet's crust. "There are literally no redeeming qualities to living here," said one of the venture's executives. "We're only here for the money, and we don't have space for tourists either." So how exactly did you manage to get on board? There you have it, dear readers. Humans can find the beauty in any inhospitable rock you throw at them. I think I'll head back to a world that doesn't have liability waivers for passports. Haltel Valken, Xenoculture Correspondent, Massetti Prime Gazette. The author's name and the link to original text is in the description. Consider tapping the thumbs up and pressing the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video.